I was reading a book the other day.
Reading a book?
Yes, it's all about civilization or something. A nutty kind of a book. Do you know that the guy says that machinery is going to take the place of every profession?
What do you say?
No.
Tomorrow night?
No.
Next year?
No.
Good. Because by me it's this way. The longer they know, the harder they yes.
Well, I don't want to be honorable with you unless it's absolutely necessary.
It's the Al Travis Show. Our last guest for the day. We're very happy to have her on. She is Senator Julia Coleman. Senator, how are you doing today?
You know, I'm up in northern Minnesota, so it's always a good day, even when Canada is trying its best to destroy it.
I think that is quite funny. So, for folks who don't know, I think this is hilarious. The Minnesota congressional delegation, sent a letter to Canada saying, stop it. Now, I don't know. If you're Canada, you get a letter from 6 or 7 Congress people from Minnesota. Like, oh, we should go after this fire now. I'm thinking that wasn't a help at all. It's such a play.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody in Canadian Parliament taking a look at that letter and thinking, well, now we'll get our stuff together.
Funny, we haven't done it that way for years, but Minnesota told us so we're there. So, yeah, people do what people got to do. I want to ask you about how bad the Minnesota Housing Stability Program really was. Let me run a list quick. We had the overpayment unemployment insurance fraud, frontline worker pay fraud, feeding our future. You might have heard of that little bad boy. Child care fraud, adult daycare fraud, Minnesota's autism clinic fraud, medical transportation fraud, Medicaid fraud for reimbursement, and now this. Is anyone shocked that they created a program in Medicaid, which is about housing? Okay. I don't know why it's there. I thought it was doctors and medicine, but okay. That they set up that it could have $2.6 million in the first year, but by the 5th year be at $107 million, and no one questioned it, that there be fraud there? How is this even possible?
Well, it's starting to seem in Minnesota like it's just becoming part of our culture and government. It's just to be expected. Oh, 4 to 8 times a year, we're going to find out about some massive fraud that occurred under the Walz administration. And I don't want it to become the norm here. I want it to get cracked down upon. And so it's for it to get shut down, for them to shut down the program completely. I mean, I haven't seen that before. And that's telling me it's worse. And we're going to find out just how bad it was.
See, and that's my point. All those others I just mentioned, we don't shut those down. We just keep it rolling on. We're going to take a look at it, but we don't really want to look at it. Senator Gustafson had the Office of Inspector General bill that came up. 60 of 67 senators said, yeah, we got to have this bad boy. We need this. This is both sides. But in the House, they can't even get it to a vote. How is that possible without some people somehow thinking the system with all these frauds is a good thing? I don't understand. How does that happen?
Yeah, I think the disagreement came down to whether there should be an Office of Inspector General or how we would do it, or would it be something that answered to the governor like the other administrators do, or would it be an elected position? And so we kind of got lost in the details when it came to that debate. And now I think that people are looking back and going, okay, we should have just done something. At this point, there should have been something done here. I know that Representative Kristen Robbins does great work in the Waste, Fraud, and Abuse Committee, but that just brings things to light. It doesn't actually have any enforcement capability. And so I hope that when we come back this session, because it had a really, really small dollar tag attached to it, that we can just hash out the details. People can stop digging in their heels on the finer points of this, and we can just get something done to start looking into all of this. Because when I sit on the education committee or human services or housing, and I look at real needs and people really needing our help, and we're cutting money in human services, we're cutting money in special education, and then to see just hundreds of millions up to, I think someone said $1 billion now, get thrown down the drain in waste, fraud, and abuse. Actually, not even waste, just fraud and abuse. Just it breaks my heart as a lawmaker.